Mr. Councilman Mendez.
All right, so you know the ground rules. You had a presentation. It got distributed. We're expecting that council members have read through it. We're allotting 15 minutes to go to 5:21. Feel free to give us an opening comment, then we'll open it for questions.
Absolutely, our pleasure. I'll try to even give you a couple minutes back if you like. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charles Starks, President and CEO of the Music City Center, and also with us today is Heidi Runyon, our Director of Finance. And I'd like to take just a real quick moment to say happy birthday to us. Today, the Music City Center officially opened 7 years ago today. So certainly the accolades and amount of business that we've brought to the city, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our wonderful team, our team members here. They've done such a great job over 7 years. I will certainly tell you we did not expect 7 years ago when we opened the door to be celebrating our 7th birthday in a building that's empty, though. So we certainly are looking forward to getting some customers and people back in the city. I would like to Councilmember, just touch on just a couple of quick things. Of course, our board has, as we've looked through this and we continue looking at forecasting where we extremely were and great to be in a position this year that we could help in the fiscal 21 year budget for Metro. As y'all can see in our presentation, some of the commitments we've made over the years, and certainly the commitment we've made for this year for fiscal 21. Additionally, if indeed a tax increase comes along, and whatever the council may elect to do, or if they go with the mayor's, the dollar increase that was proposed, just to give you an idea for the council members, that would increase at $1, that would increase our pilot agreement that we have with the city by an additional $4 million. Our contribution this last year of the pilot was $12.62 million. That would move it to $16.62 million if the dollar increase was approved or whatever variation that may be up. I just quickly want to talk about cancellations and what we've seen from the COVID-19 impact to date. As of today, we've had about 62 groups that have canceled that could not be rescheduled. So when you look at that slide on page 8, that's groups we could not accommodate in additional days. So about 300,000 unique attendees. I think the total room nights 267,000 that it shows there, and a direct economic impact of about $300 billion. Contracted revenue for MC is not what we've actualized. We think currently that number is about $20 million in lost revenue to date for the Music City Center. We've been able to reschedule 26 of those groups into the future. So in total, we've had a total of, that makes it 88 groups in essence that we've had impact with today. Y'all would receive from me, all the council members would have a little bit earlier today. I just want to real quick just kind of highlight what we've seen from a hotel statistics standpoint. We sent y'all the month of April. Just so everybody, if you didn't have a chance to see that yet, the Davidson County ran 16.8% occupancy in April compared to a year ago of 80.4%. And just to give you an idea, the average rate countywide was down about $111 over last year. Downtown, just the downtown core ran an 8.6% occupancy. So certainly, I know all the council members are aware of the impact it's been to the hospitality industry and continues to be. And certainly at this point, May is not much more promising than what April may have looked as April finished up. Just kind of lastly, I'd say as we continue to look at our financial status and where we are, and certainly we've built a rainy day fund that we've been able to use for some of this. I'll tell you, forecasting, and a lot of those in the hospitality industry can certainly attest to this. Forecasting is very difficult, getting past about a quarter at a time. I am on daily multiple calls with customers, and sometimes it's the same customer multiple times as we're trying to keep their meeting together. Currently, we do have some business that's some light business in July, assuming we can get to phase 4 by that point. And then August is slightly better. And September and October are okay, but I will tell you we're at the point right now where those conventions are really starting to look at how their pre-registration numbers are looking at this distance out. And so certainly we've got to do a lot of hand-holding and hoping that we can maintain those and get them back into the city. So trying to be brief, Chairman Mendez, so certainly happy for any questions or any comments you'd like from me, but I'd like to turn it back to you at this time and look forward to questions. Thank you.
Well, I'll give you a compliment and then turn it over to Councilmember Allen is first in the queue. The compliment is congratulations on coming into the downturn with a better rainy day fund than Metro.
I hate to say thank you, but thank you. Yes, yeah.
Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. My question was about that rainy day fund. We have always talked about how much there was, and many people have said it was a terrible thing for y'all to have that, and yet now we're grateful that it's there. Is it enough to cover your debt service for the upcoming year, or possibly year and a half till things get back to normal?
Yeah, Council Lady Allen, we've certainly, and Heidi and her team rerun the forecast numbers as we see them basically every 2 weeks right now. We're very confident the position that we're in right now that we can weather what we anticipate to kind of be the downturn. Certainly all of us like to have a clearer picture of when we can start to see some recovery there, and I don't know if we quite have that yet. But we have not yet had to dip into our rainy day fund, so our cash reserve fund. So we still have that. And then from a debt service payment, we make payments every 6 months. So as we look at the one for this next 6 months, we're certainly in a position to cover our debt service there. We've had a number of our bondholders that have reached out to us. And fortunately, we went into this in extremely good financial shape going in. Now, we can't sustain that forever, but I think our policy the board adopted many years ago on rainy day funds, if you will, and our prudent work there and what else we've been able to do is certainly boding extremely well for us right now.
Thank you.
The whole fund is not having to bail you out, so we appreciate your prudence there.
Thank you, Thank you, Councilmember Druffel.
Yeah, Mr. Starks, thanks for doing an incredible job. Up until this, you were cranking, and we really appreciate it. Question: do you have a crystal ball that gives us some sense of when, in your best guess, things will get close to normal for Music City Center?
Councilman Druffel, let me, and just to give a little footnote here of then my comment I'll make. I've been honored over the last number of years to serve on one of the 2 international meeting planner boards that are known around the world. And so while that's a great thing to be as a supplier and be on there, that also has put me in touch with planners from around the world. And currently we have a once-a-week conference call with them. So a lot of what I'm about to say is really taken from a context of people that are doing business in Europe and Asia and also in the United States. China and the Asia area in general is starting to see a pretty good rebound. One of the planners that's on this board with me is based in Singapore. So they're starting to see some movement. A huge movement for us is what a lot of people will not know is that in Europe, the exhibition or convention and meeting industry, the real bellwether in Europe is Germany. And Germany has announced that as of June 1st, they've said that exhibitions and meetings don't look at the same way as they do some other events, and they've opened that back up as of June 1st. So we're starting to see a little bit of movement in Europe. So as planners hear that, and a lot of the meetings that come to Nashville are certainly meeting around the world, I think that gives them great optimism going into the calendar year 21. I think most of them feel really, really good about, unless we see some tremendous rebound, that in early 21 we'll start to see it coming back. I think normal, to me, normal is probably still about 18 months away. And everything that you see, because some of them got to get through their cycle of meetings. And I think we'll have a lot of meetings. They'll just be not as well attended as it would have been previously. But I think everyone's we're looking in that 18-month window. Now, that's counting that we're already a couple of months into that window. So that's my best crystal ball right now. And hopefully it doesn't get a crack in it anytime soon. So.
Let's hope so. And any competitive advantage, since we're a good drive market, are you looking at any target groups or segments that probably look at not flying, but maybe would drive, as some other convention centers may not have the same opportunity?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Councilman. We've seen here back in 9/11, back in 08 and 9, during that time frame, that Nashville has a tendency to recover slightly better than some of our competing cities. A big part of that's because of the drive and the feel of that community. So certainly regional meetings that are looking, but I will tell you, there are a number of meetings that were canceled in another city, or they're not able to go back there, or has different restrictions, whether it be California or New York at this time, that are also wanting to have meetings that are looking at us as well. So I think we certainly want to focus on that regional and the drive-in, our associations that could work there. But at the same time, we're also focusing on some of these other states where it may not be as easy to get into right now, and having some serious conversations with planners there that maybe fit into some of the holes in 21. We didn't have a lot of holes. The fortunate thing is our advanced bookings are higher than they've ever been, and we're extremely busy right now on sales front for the out years. But what I think we're going to see with holes is where over this 18-month window I spoke about is where attendance is down, and so that'll get us some space back. We'll try to fit some of this in. But certainly the drive market's a huge point for us in the meeting side, and that's what certainly it is for the leisure traffic, trying to get them back into the city.
Thanks, Mr. Starks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. All right, it looks like we've got nobody else in the queue. So, Mr. Starks, thanks for holding down the fort on our convention center, even though it's mostly empty right now. It's easy to find a parking spot there if you happen to be downtown. You should try try that.
Yeah, please come park with us. Anyone that's listening, we have a great parking garage, nice and clean, well lit. Come see us.
All right, thanks very much. And next we'll have